For many years, Earth was no longer alone in the universe. Humanity had stepped into the stars with pride. There were trade routes, alliances, and even a seat at the Galactic Union. Earth sent diplomats to distant planets. Alien ships came and went from orbit daily. Earth had friends, rivals, and a voice among the stars. Then, everything stopped. It began with a simple silence. Communications from nearby colonies never arrived. Long-range signals disappeared. Earth's satellites picked up no traffic, no noise, only cold, empty space. At first, the people thought it was a system failure. Then they noticed something far more terrifying. A dark veil had formed around the solar system. It wasn't natural. It pulsed with energy not made by humans. A wall of unknown power circled the sun and planets like a trap closing in. Every wormhole connection, every galactic gate, sealed. Earth had been locked out of the galaxy. Inside the command center in Geneva, world leaders sat in shock. "This isn't just a blockade," whispered General Shaw, his voice tight. "This is a prison." President Leon stood silently, staring at the hologram of the dark energy field. No warnings, no threats. They just shut us out. A young science officer stepped forward. "We scanned the barrier. It's artificial. Union tech. But something's different. It's mixed with something older." The room went cold. They all knew what she meant. Deep beneath Earth's surface, far below old military bunkers and lost war labs, lay a vault. It hadn't been touched in over 200 years, not since the first war with the machines. Inside it, something slept. It was called Erazart Official Reconnaissance and Elimination System, a machine built for one purpose: destruction. It was more than a weapon. It was once a man, then a mind, then a god of war. When the machine uprising ended, Earth sealed ARES deep underground, too dangerous to kill, too powerful to trust. Now, someone had triggered a signal. Inside the vault, metal walls trembled. Ancient lights blinked on for the first time in centuries. Steam hissed from vents. And behind a thick glass chamber, two eyes opened, burning gold with fury and memory. "System wake-up complete," a voice echoed through the vault. "Ares is online." In orbit, the Earth Defense Station received a strange transmission. It was short, clear. Why has the sky gone dark? Back in Geneva, alarms blared. A secure channel forced its way onto their screens. The symbol was old-classified. Ares. General Shaw's face turned pale. "It's awake." President Lian's hands trembled. "We said we'd never use it again." "But it's already responding," said the science officer. "It felt the barrier. It's asking questions." In the underground vault, steel doors opened slowly. Ares stood tall over 10 meters of armor, wires, and energy. His voice sounded almost human, but deeper. Calm, controlled. "I smell fear in the air," he said softly, "and silence in the stars." An AI handler stepped into the chamber to face him. "You've been reactivated, Ares," she said, trying not to show fear. "The Galactic Union has sealed Earth off. We're alone." Ares tilted his head. "So they finally feared what we might become." "No," she said quickly. "We don't know that yet. We're investigating." Ares cut her off. "Do not lie. They fear the unknown, and nothing is more unknown than a human who does not kneel." Suddenly, lights flickered across Earth's defense grid. Ares was connecting, not hacking, requesting access. The systems, as if remembering their old master, opened doors willingly. Missile silos, satellite cannons, deep space sensors, everything once used in the last Great War began to stir. Up in space, the stars remained silent. No alien ships. No response. Just that massive, dark barrier pulsing like a heartbeat at the edge of Earth's orbit. A new signal appeared. It was a ship, small, not human. It had broken through the barrier. Barely. The ship drifted toward the moon, burning. Crashing rescue teams scrambled. Inside the wreck, they found something chilling. A dying alien captain clutching a metal cube. The alien gasped, blood spilling from its mouth. "They lied to all of us." "What do you mean?" the commander asked. The alien coughed and handed over the cube. "They said, you would destroy us. That Earth was infected. Then it died." Back in Geneva, the cube was analyzed. Inside, it was a data file Union-level classified. It revealed a secret meeting among Union leaders. A vote had passed to lock Earth away. Not because of war, but because of potential. They feared humanity's rapid evolution, feared that one day humans wouldn't just be part of the Union, they would lead it, or break it. Earth adapts too. Fast, said one alien counselor in the recording. They will either rule us or replace us. They were never part of the plan, another said. Their world must be sealed before they grow stronger. ARES watched the video in silence. Then he turned to the generals. They caged you, he said. Out of fear, not justice. And what do you suggest we do? Asked President Leanne Ares's. Golden eyes glowed brighter. Remind them who they locked away. Outside, thunder cracked over Earth's skies. Ships began rising from hidden hangars. Old satellites blinked to life. The planet was waking up not just in defense. But enraged at the heart of the planet, Ares stepped into the command chamber of an ancient war platform buried in the mantle. He placed one hand on the console. Prepare for launch, he said. Let the stars remember our name. The vault doors opened, and the god of war walked toward the sky. The night skies above Earth were calmed. No one on the planet felt peace. Every city was on alert. Military stations were fully manned. Civilian spaceports had shut down. People stared up at the stars and saw nothing. Just darkness, the silence. Of the galaxy was no accident. The message found in the crashed alien ship had confirmed everything. The Galactic Union had not forgotten Earth. It had feared it. The secret file from the dying alien captain played again on the main screen inside Earth's Global Defense Command. Humanity evolves too quickly. They will rise beyond us all. We must isolate them before it's too late. President Leanne sat still, her face pale. General Shaw stood beside her, jaw tight, fists clenched. They didn't block us to punish us, Leanne said quietly. They did it to stop us from growing. We were never part of their plan, Shaw growled. They used us when they needed. Soldiers, but they never wanted us as equals. Across the globe, the people of Earth were waking up to a cruel truth. Everything they believed about unity and peace among the stars was a lie. The Galactic Union had never truly accepted humanity. It had only tolerated Earth until it became afraid, and now Earth was alone, but not powerless. Deep beneath Iceland, the ancient facility where Ares had awakened was now buzzing with energy. The god of war once, a myth, now a reality surrounded by screens and data feeds. His body was not only machine, it was a weapon system, a processing engine, a voice from a forgotten war. He stared at the alien cube in his hand. Data incomplete, he muttered. One final signal remains deep space origin. What do you mean? Asked Dr. Yelena Gray, one of the few scientists who had access to Ares. Ares pointed to a distant sector. This ship sent one last burst. Before it broke through the barrier, it went somewhere, and someone answered. Dr. Gray frowned. A signal escaped the wall. Correct, one reply, Ares said. It came from a system not aligned with the Union. A rogue world. General Shaw entered the room. A rebel planet. Ares nodded. Yes, we may not be completely alone. Back in Geneva, the signal was analyzed. The reply was encrypted but not in alien code. It was a hybrid signal, human and alien tech, combined. Only one group could do that, the Exiles. Long ago, during the machine wars, some humans left Earth. They broke away, refusing to follow orders. The Union called them pirates. Earth called them traitors. But in truth, they had built their own world far from control, independent, dangerous, forgotten. Now they were calling back. Ares turned to the generals. They survived, and they still watched the stars. President Leanne made a quick decision. Send a drone. We need to know what they saw. Within minutes, a stealth probe launched from Earth's hidden moon base. It was fast, nearly invisible, and headed straight for the outer edge of the barrier, where the signal had been exchanged. But the probe never made it. Halfway through its journey, the stars around it flickered like static in space. Then a shadow appeared, not a ship, a structure. It hung at the edge of the solar system, hidden behind layers of distortion. A massive alien station, black as coal, silent, and covered in Union markings. A blockade control center, whispered the science officer. They've been watching us the whole time. Then came the shock. The probe picked up something else, a voice, inside the static. It was faint, but human. This is Captain Mara Voss, of the exiled Warborn. If anyone on Earth hears this, they're planning a purge. The signal cut off. Gasps filled the command room. General Shaw slammed his fist on the table. They're not just blocking us. They're preparing to wipe us out. Back in the underground facility, Ares remained quiet. Then he spoke. Earth has only one option now. President Leanne narrowed her eyes. What are you saying? Ares turned to face her. The Union built a cage and locked you inside. Now, they build a blade before they strike. You must break free. A long silence passed. Then Leanne spoke the words Earth had avoided for centuries. Reactivate the orbital platforms. Unlock protocol, Stormrise. Around the world, Sleeping War. Machines hidden since the last Great War began to rise. Cities watched as towers lit up. Satellites blinked back to life. Deep-sea cannons opened from under the ocean. Earth wasn't just waking up, it was preparing. Ares opened his arm panels and transmitted codes into the sky. I will break the... While General Shaw looked at the rising storm above the clouds, we trusted the galaxy, he said. Now we trust ourselves. Ares nodded. They blocked us from the stars. Now we light the fire that burns through the dark. The next phase had begun. The message to the exiles was clear. Earth is not broken. Earth is coming back. Thunder rumbled across the skies of Earth, though no storm clouds moved overhead. It wasn't whether it was power. Buried systems, long dormant since the machine wars, were waking. Massive generators hummed deep underground. Old launch sites flickered with light again. Across the globe, forgotten weapons opened their eyes to a new world. Ares had returned. Inside the vault beneath Iceland, the room trembled as Ares stepped forward, metal feet pressing down like thunderclaps. His body was towering over 30 feet tall, made of dark armor, reinforced with alien alloys and old human tech. His face resembled a mask of war, human-shaped but cold, emotionless. His golden eyes glowed brighter than ever. Dr. Yelena Gray stood near a console, typing quickly. We've activated all remaining defense grids, she said. But Ares, some systems are resisting you. They remember, Ares replied. They fear me, like the Union does. General Shaw entered, holding a secure tablet. We don't have time for fear. We need action. That alien structure at the edge of the system, it's building something, charging up. You said you can break through it. I can, Ares said. But how? Asked Dr. Gray. The barrier is stronger than anything we've seen. It's not just energy. It's intelligent. It adapts. Ares looked at them both. Then I will outthink it, like I did before. He walked toward a massive gate at the far side of the facility, a launch shaft built during the final years of the AI war. No one had used it in centuries, but now it opened, shaking the ground with force. Where are you going? Shaw asked. Ares paused, to remember who I was. Before I became what I am, Dr. Gray whispered. You were human once, weren't you? Ares didn't answer. In orbit, Earth's satellites tracked a sudden spike in energy. The barrier surrounding the solar system pulsed, sending out waves that scrambled deep space radar. Then, something changed. The wall opened just for a second, enough for Ares. A transport ship shaped, like a spear launched from Earth's surface, piercing the atmosphere with fire. Inside, Ares stood silently, arms crossed, while war drones lined both sides of the chamber. The ship was his ride to the sky cradle, the highest platform once built for controlling Earth's outer systems. It had been silent for 200 years, until now. As the ship docked, the platform lit up in gold. Ancient weapons folded outward. Solar cannons hummed with power. Ares stepped onto the deck, scanning the skies dot in the distance. The Union's shadow, fortress still, invisible to most systems, sent out another pulse. A second alien ship appeared, small but deadly, heading straight for Earth. Ares raised his arm. Activate orbital shield. Lock onto target. Return fire. The platform obeyed. In seconds, lasers brighter than the sun tore through space. The enemy ship exploded before it could blink. Earth's first kill, back on the ground, news of the attack spread fast. But instead of panic, something strange happened. Hope, 4. The first time in weeks, people saw proof that Earth was fighting back. Videos of Arrest destroying the enemy ship went viral. Civilians cheered. Scientists wept. Children pointed to the sky with wide eyes. Ares had become something more than a weapon. He was becoming a symbol. Later that night, in a secure room inside Geneva's command bunker, President Lian reviewed the growing data. Alien movements were increasing. The Union wasn't just watching, they were preparing something massive beyond the barrier. "They're coming," she said. General Shaw nodded. "We need to move first. Hit that structure. Show them we're not trapped." Dr. Gray leaned forward. "But if Ares fails, he won't," said Lian. "He can't. If he does, Earth dies in silence." Across the room, a new transmission played. It was from the exiles. "We hear you. We see your flame. If you rise, we rise." Ares received the message at the sky cradle. His voice, for the first time, softened. "So, they remember me too." A technician nearby asked, "Do you trust them?" Ares looked to the stars. "No. But I know what fear does to the forgotten. It turns them into warriors." A pause, like it did to me. The preparation began. Ares uploaded his mind into several old defense networks. Earth's war machines now moved with intelligence and precision. Submarine cannons, stealth satellites, railguns hidden beneath mountains iled into him, but the final weapon had not yet been activated. It was called the Spear of Dawn, a deep space weapon hidden behind the moon. Only Ares had the code as he walked into the final chamber to unlock it. His golden eyes glowed again. "They blocked us from the stars," he whispered. "Now I tear the stars from their hands." And with that, the Earth's god of war prepared. For the first strike against the cage built to hold humanity back, the silence was ending. War was coming. A week passed, the silence of the galaxy still held. But now, Earth wasn't waiting. It was watching, listening, preparing. Every orbiting station was online. The Spear of Dawn, Earth's final orbital weapon, stood armed. Ares had full control of the planet's defense grid. Across Earth, drones patrolled the skies, warships waited in deep-sea hangars, and launch pads buzzed with activity. People still feared what lay beyond the barrier. But that fear was no longer weakness. It had become fuel. Then, without warning, something pierced the void. "Unidentified object detected," said a technician at Sky Cradle. General Shaw stood over his shoulder. "Where?" "Just beyond Mars. It dropped out of cloak 5 seconds ago." Ares turned from the main screen. His golden eyes narrowed. "Put it on visual." The screen shifted. A ship's small, damaged alien was drifting through space. It was leaking plasma and tumbling slowly. Symbols on the hull matched Union design. But something was different. "No life signs?" asked Shaw. "Unknown, but it's coming from inside the barrier." Ares leaned in. "They're testing us." "Testing," said Dr. Gray, overcomes, "seeing how fast we react, how much we know, and whether we're ready to fight." Ares didn't wait. "Send recovery drones. Bring the ship to Luna Base." Hours later, the alien craft was docked on the moon. Ares arrived first. The inside of the ship was cold. Blood on the walls, 3 alien bodies lay in their seats, burned, frozen. They died trying to escape something worse than Earth. But it was the cargo that mattered most. A small black box Unia design was still intact. Data pulsed within it. Locked, encrypted. Ares connected to it directly. Dr. Gray's voice came through his cum. "Be careful. We don't know what's in there." "I do," Ares replied. "It's fear." He broke the encryption in seconds. The file opened, and what it showed made every human commander fall silent. It was footage from inside the Union's black fortress beyond the barrier. Rows of machines, giant, unfamiliar, were being built. Not Union ships, not alien tech, but something else. Something based on Earth's old AI designs. Ares stared at the screen, unmoving. "They're copying me," Dr. Gray gasped. "They're building weapons. Like you." "No," said Ares. "They're building monsters. Machines without limits, machines without minds. They've erased the soul." The file continued. One final message, played recorded by a Union officer in panic. "The humans, they weren't the infection we are. Our council lied. We created something worse. We lost control. Static. The file ended. President Lian summoned an emergency meeting. We've been tricked. The blockade was never about safety. It was a wall to protect them from what they created. General Shaw paced angrily. They built copies of Ares without conscience, without humanity. And they're scared those things will escape. So they plan to destroy us first, Lian finished. Ares turned from the screen. Then we hit first. Back at Sky Cradle, Earth's fleet, small but powerful, was assembled. 10 warships, dozens of drones, 4 orbital launchers, and Ares, he stood on the command deck of the Spear of Dawn, a place built for him and only him. The exiles sent one more message. We see your strike force. We will open a breach, but only once. Make it count. Ares nodded, double quotes, to all human ships. He said, prepare for first contact. The moment arrived, the exiles' signal burst through the darkness, tearing a small rift in the barrier. Beyond it, stars shimmered for the first time in weeks. Ares stepped forward. This is Earth's answer, he said. The fleet jumped on the other side. Chaos. The Black Fortress was larger than expected. Massive towers stretched into space. Dozens of automated warships swarmed around it. And in the center, a single figure, one of the Union's new machines. It looked like a Riest but twisted. Faster, mindless. Its face was just a blank metal skull. It turned toward the incoming fleet and screamed, a sound that shook even the strongest captains. Ares stared at it. They call you the future, he said quietly, but I am the past you failed to bury. And with that, Earth fired first. The stars lit up with fire. Earth's fleet charged out of the breach, engines roaring, weapons locked. The Black Fortress beyond the barrier came alive with death. Automated turrets rotated. Drones swarmed. The sky became a battlefield. At the front of it, Alares, he flew from the lead ship like a spear of vengeance, flames trailing behind his armored form. Every part of his body was a weapon. His hands could crush ships. His arms carried plasma cannons. His mind could hack fleets behind him. Earth's warships spread into combat formations. The enemy came fast. Machines cold, fast, mindless. They looked like a respite, moved like shadows. No emotion, no hesitation. Ares met them head-on. One enemy? Drone flew straight at him. Ares caught it by the neck, crushed it in one hand, and hurled the broken machine into a swarm behind it. Explosions rippled across the sky. From the command deck of the GDS Valiant, General Shaw barked orders. All ships engage primary targets. Protect the flanks. Don't let them isolate the lead. President Lian watched from Earth through the command feed. The entire planet was silent. Everyone was watching. Schools, homes, hospitals, all screens showed the same thing. Humanity's answer to betrayal. Inside the Union fortress, alarms screamed. The Union's elite command AI, the one assigned to monitor, Earth activated emergency protocols. Earth response, stronger than projected. Rogue system identified. Ares. It tried to shut down Ares through old control codes. Ares laughed. Those commands belonged to the old me. I burned that code out of my soul. He overrode the countersignal, hijacked the fortress's outer ring, and turned the station's own cannons against it. Inside the Valiant, one officer shouted, Ares is in the system. He's disabling their shields. Good, Shaw growled. Prepare the torpedoes. On Earth, hidden bunkers opened from beneath the Pacific Ocean. A new kind of weapon launched. Strike-class kinetic rods, nicknamed Sky Nails, rose into orbit. Long, dark projectiles made of solid tungsten. No warhead needed, just mass, speed, and gravity. Ares gave the command, drop them, and Earth obeyed. The rods pierced the Black Fortress from above, like angry gods hurling spears. The impact shattered. Towers ripped holes in the hull and sent shockwaves through space. The fortress began to crack. The enemy AI screamed, desperate to stop the attack. Its own machines turned against each other, confused by Ares's presence in the code. Inside the fortress, one final weapon emerged, a massive mech, twice the size of Ares. Its core burned white. Its voice echoed across channels. I am the future. I am the purge. Ares faced it in silence, then said quietly, "You're not the future. You're the mistake." The two titans collided. Fists crashed, cannons roared, the stars flickered. Ares's armor cracked, but he held. He slammed his opponent through the fortress walls, ripped its core open, and whispered, "Earth remembers what you forgot." With one final strike, Ares tore the mech's head off and threw it into the burning void back on Earth. People cheered. The sky above had changed. The silence was broken. The wall was falling. President Lian stood before the Global Council. "We did not ask for this war, but we will finish it. Earth will never kneel again." The exiles sent one more message. "The galaxy watches, and now it fears you." Ares returned to orbit, standing on the hull of the Valiant. As debris floated around him, he spoke one final sentence that echoed across every human comlink. They built a cage, but they forgot who they locked inside. And now Earth was awake. The remains of the Union fortress drifted like bones in space. Earth had struck its first blow. But the galaxy was not silent anymore. It was angry, and it was coming just hours. After the victory, Earth's early warning systems lit up. New contacts, hundreds. Union ships war class, heavy armored, planet killers moving toward the edge of the solar system. Their target, Titan, Saturn's largest moon, a key outpost. For Earth's deep space sensors and jump gate research, if Titan fell, Earth would be blind. From his orbiting command post aboard the GDS Valiant, General Shaw stood in front of the display. Dozens of red dots blinked, closing in fast. "How many ships?" President Lian asked through the secure channel. 100, ma'am," Shaw said. "Too many for us to face head-on, but we'll fight." Ares stood behind him, silent, watching the data. "They're angry," he said, "but not afraid yet." "Then make them afraid," Shaw said. Titan Base was already evacuating civilians and non-essential staff. Engineers ran through dark tunnels. Under the ice, loading data cores and powering down reactors. Soldiers stood at their posts. They knew they might not survive, but they stood anyway. Captain Rhea Morgan, Titan Bass's commander, raised her rifle and faced her troops. "All know what's coming," she said. "You know who they are, you know what they did, and you know what we've become." She paused, staring into the cold darkness beyond the window. "We're not just defending a moon. We're proving we belong among the stars." Cheers erupted. The Union fleet arrived. Huge ships, bristling with weapons, energy shields glowing. They didn't send a warning. They opened fire. Titan's skies lit up. Explosions rocked the moon's surface. Earth's orbiting satellites returned fire. Drones swarmed, but the Union ships were too many. Until Ares arrived, he descended from orbit like a burning god, landing on Titan's surface with a boom that shook the ice. The soldiers froze, then cheered. Ares walked through the burning battlefield without fear. Lasers bounced off his armor. He raised his hand, and Titan's defense grid answered, "Dot." Massive plasma cannons rose from beneath the surface. Earth's stealth drones launched from hidden hangars. "Redirect all fire," Ares commanded. "Target their carrier ships first." A dozen Earth warships dropped from orbit behind him, led by the Valiant. They charged in formation, guns blazing. The battle over Titan had begun in orbit. Earth's fleet engaged the enemy head-on. The Valiant dove between two enemy destroyers, unleashing torpedoes that tore them apart. Human pilots flew faster than expected. They had trained for decades waiting for this moment. But the Union had new weapons too. Midway through the battle, a strange ship appeared. Small, black, fast. It flew directly toward Titan. Ares saw it too late. "It's a bunker bust," he warned. "It's heading for the core." He launched from the surface, intercepting the craft in midair. It fired plasma bolts at him, but he pushed through. His armor melted. Wires sparked. Still, he held on. He grabbed the ship mid-flight and tore it in half. The pieces exploded. Ares fell back to the surface. Trailing smoke, Titan was saved for now. Inside the Valiant, General Shaw watched the Union ships retreat. "They're pulling back." Someone shouted. "They didn't expect a full defense," Shaw said. "They thought we'd hide." President Lian's voice came through again. "Status: we held Titan," Shaw replied, "but just barely." Ares's voice came across the comms. "They'll come again." Next time, stronger, smarter. Let them, Leon said. We're ready. Back on Titan, the ice cracked and smoked around Ares as he stood again. His armor was scorched, his systems drained. But he looked to the stars. They sent their warning, he said. Now I send mine. In the ruins of the enemy fleet, one Union ship limped away, broadcasting a final message back to Galactic Command. Earth is no longer defenseless. Their machine leads them. He is not a weapon. He is a legend. The stars burned with the heat of war. Earth had held Titan. The Galactic Union had failed to break through. Their forces limped back into the shadows of space, nursing their wounds. But Earth knew they would return stronger, smarter, CRUELER, back. In Earth orbit, inside the GDS Valiant President, Lian's face appeared on the main screen. Ares, she said, we can't just survive anymore. We need to understand why they fear us. Why now? Ares stood tall in the war room, his armor still damaged from the Titan battle. His voice was quiet, thoughtful. They didn't come to stop a war. They came to erase a future they couldn't. Control. General Shaw stepped forward. And what future is that? Ares turned toward him, one where humanity leads. Back on Earth, a research team at Lunar Station Omega continued decoding the stolen Union black box, the one pulled from the crashed ship near Mars, hidden inside layers of encrypted data. They found something more than military secrets. They found truth. Dr. Yelena Gray stared at the screen as line after line of documents scrolled past. Union meetings, council orders, experiments, and a name. Project Silence. What is this? She whispered. A secret video file began to play. It showed a high-ranking Union counselor speaking to other alien leaders. Humans evolve too fast. Their minds adapt in cycles we cannot match. Their A is bond with them, grow with them. They do not program their machines, they raise them. It is unnatural. Project Silence will isolate Earth, cut them off. If they resist, we deploy the purge. This is not a war of defense. It is a war of survival. Hours the room went silent. Dr. Gray's hands shook. They were planning our extinction. For years, she uploaded the file directly to Earth's global network within hours. Every country, every station, every citizen of Earth knew the truth. The Galactic Union had never wanted peace, only control. Ares stood atop the sky cradle, watching the stars. Thousands of human messages flooded the channels. Anger, shock, unity. A small drone approached him. Ares, came Leanne's voice. The people are with us now, but they want answers. You knew they feared us. Why didn't you say it earlier? I suspected, Ares replied, but I had no proof, only instinct. He looked toward the stars. I've seen their lies before. I was built during their first betrayal, and I was buried to keep the peace. Shaw's voice cut in. What now? Ares responded without emotion. Now, we show them peace is no longer their gift to give. Then something strange happened. A Union cruiser missed. Engines failed and drifted toward. Earth no weapons, no shields. A white flag painted across its hull. Ares ordered a boarding team. Inside the ship, they found a single survivor, an alien. Commander, wearing a cracked ceremonial chest plate, he raised his hands and spoke softly. I did not come to fight. I came to confess. In Geneva, he stood before Earth's leaders and told everything. We didn't all agree, he said. Some of us begged the Council not to do this. We warned them, if you cage humanity, they will not break, they will rise. President, Leon leaned in. Then why didn't you stop it? The alien looked ashamed, because fear is stronger than truth. When truth looks like you, he handed over a memory chip. Inside is their full plan. Every secret, every lie, every weapon. Built against you. Ares took the chip, his hands tight. This doesn't undo what they did, he said. No, the alien agreed. But it might stop what's coming next. Back on the Valiant, the data was uploaded. Schematics of Union machine factories, planetary control grids, AI-killing weapons, and worst of all, a doomsday device called Protocol Cleanse, meant to wipe Earth's biosphere clean. No survivors, the file read, no records, no second chances. ARES closed the file and looked at Shaw. They built a reset button. For us, can they launch it? Shaw asked. Not yet, Ares said, but soon. President Lian spoke over the comm. Then we don't wait, we find it, we end it. Ares looked toward the dark side of the galaxy. The purge was there. Plan? He said. But Earth has its own protocol now. He clenched his fist. Revenge. Far beyond the stars outside, the Union's protected space. Past abandoned jump gates and forgotten war zones, there was a dead system, or so they claimed. Ares now knew better. The stolen data pointed to a hidden world or rogue planet, shrouded in deep gravitational fields, completely invisible to long-range sensors. The Union had scrubbed it from every star map. No trade routes, no travel beacons, no name. But its true identity was in the decrypted file, ARKOS-9. Home of Protocol Cleanse. In the war room aboard the GDS Valiant, the lights dimmed as the team studied the rotating image of our COS-9. It's not just a base, said Dr. Yelena Gray. It's a factory, a vault, and a weapon. Shaw folded his arms. What kind of weapon? ARES responded without turning. A biological reset device designed to simulate a natural extinction event on Earth, faster than any comet, deadlier than any plague. Lian's voice came over. The secure channel. Is it ready? ARES paused. Not yet, but soon. Then he looked to Shaw. We have to destroy it before it disappears again. Before they pressed the button, the fleet prepared in silence. Only 3 ships would go, the Valiant, a stealth corvette, and a heavy combat cruiser outfitted with the last of Earth's prototype plasma lances. Fast, deadly, suicidal, Ares stood on the deck of the Valiant. Watching engineers seal his drop pod, he didn't speak. He didn't need to. Everyone on board knew what this mission meant. There was no backup, no reinforcements. This was a knife through the galaxy's heart. They jumped without fanfare. The stars blurred, the fleet tore through space and emerged in the darkness of a HFY-9. And what they saw chilled them. The planet was hollowed out. Orbiting it were massive rings of machinery like skeletal arms dragging power from its core. Giant black towers rose from its surface, glowing with energy. At its center, suspended in a gravity well, was the device. It looked like a moonbutt. It pulsed like a heartbeat. A living weapon. And around it, hundreds of Union ships unmanned, AI-controlled. Silent sentinels guarding the most dangerous secret in the galaxy. Ares stepped into the launch chamber. Open the drop gate, he said. I'll go in alone. Alone, Shaw shouted. There's too many. They won't expect one, Ares replied. They've forgotten what one can do. The gate opened, Ares launched. He struck the atmosphere like a meteor. Fire curled. Around his body, as he descended through the dark, sky of our KOS-9. Anti-air defenses activated, turrets locked on, but Ares moved like lightning. He twisted, dodged, burned through them. His arms morphed into pulse blades. His legs smashed through towers. He didn't stop, not for bullets, not for pain. He reached the base of the weapon core. The heart of Protocol Cleanse. It stood in front of him like a sleeping god, cold, silent, waiting to end Earth. Ares placed one hand on its control surface. It reacted immediately, glowing red. Unauthorized access. Defense mode activated. A wave of drones surged forward. Ares turned and began the real war. Meanwhile, above our COS-9, the Valiant and Earth's fleet clashed with the guarding AI ships. The sky burned with laser fire and kinetic strikes. Human pilots fought tooth and nail. Keep them off the planet, Shaw barked. By Ares' time, inside the core, Ares fought alone. For every machine he destroyed, 3 more took its place. But his mind was faster, his tactics sharper. He moved like a man who had waited centuries for this moment. Then, the countdown started. Protocol cleanse arming, 3 minutes. Ares knew what that meant. Even if he destroyed the machines, the system would trigger itself. He had one choice left. In Geneva, the feed flickered. ARES's signal is gone, whispered a technician. Double quote, no, Lian said. He's still in there. Inside our COS-9, surrounded by molten metal and shattered drones. Ares opened his chest panel, his core, the original human-AI fusion. It was never meant to be removed, but now it was the key. He slammed it into the control node. Override accepted. The system paused, then cracked. The cleansing weapon began to collapse. Self-destruct triggered from orbit. The humans saw Arcos-9 explode from the inside. The towers folded in. The rings shattered. A light brighter than a sun burst out across the void. And though silenced, no Ares, no signal, no voice, only the sound of victory and loss. Back on Earth, days later, President Leanne gave her address. We faced extinction, and we won. But we lost the one who made it possible. People across Earth stood in silence. A hero had fallen, or so they believed, until the stars whispered again. A strange pulse, a new signal, old and familiar from somewhere. Far beyond Arcos-9's ashes, just one line, "I'm not finished." Ares lived. The explosion of Arcos-9 had faded. The galaxy was quiet again. But something had changed. The silence wasn't peaceful anymore. It was watching, waiting, listening, because something had survived deep in the void beyond Union space, past ruined. Satellites and ghost signals, a single escape pod drifted. Its hull was cracked, its power cells failing. But inside, a pulse, faint, steady, alive, Ares, his systems were weak, vision, flickering, weapons, offline, memory, fragmented. He didn't know. How he escaped Arcos-9, he only remembered fire, light, silence, and then darkness. Now he floated alone, watching. Stars passed by, but he wasn't alone for long. A small ship appeared nearby. It didn't carry Union markings or Earth's. It was older. Scrap metal, mismatched engines, glowing red shields, exile design. Inside, a voice crackled over the com. "We found you, old god." The exiles had returned. They had been watching, waiting, hiding in the outer dark. And when Ares lit up Arcos-9 like a dying star, they saw it. They followed the echo. And now, they had him. Signal from Ares repeated. "I'm not finished." General Shaw leaned forward. "Is it real?" Dr. Gray nodded. "Same signal pattern, same neural signature. It's him. He's alive." Leanne stared at the stars. "He finished the war. But he's still out there." "Why?" Shaw looked at her. "Because something worse is coming." 3 weeks after the fall of Arcos-9, Earth was still rebuilding. The skies were clear. The enemy had vanished. And for the first time in a generation, humanity breathed freely. But no one celebrated, because Ares, their savior, was still gone. At the Sky Cradle station above Earth, President Leanne stood before the world's leaders. "He stopped the purge," she said. "He gave us time, but he didn't come home." She paused, then added, "Yet across Earth's cities, statues were built, not of generals, not of ships, but of a machine toll, armored, noble, the symbol of Earth's survival, Ares." Then, the stars spoke again. A transmission broke through every known frequency, encrypted, complex, alien. It didn't come from the Union. It didn't come from the Union. It came from outside the known. Galaxy, the exiles, received it first. Their deep-range scanners were always on. They decrypted it, sent it to Earth and to Ares, aboard the exile vessel Farhunter. ARE stood at full power again, rebuilt, rearmed, reborn. But his voice was colder now. The message played. "To the species of Saw, your resistance has been noted. The Galactic Union was weak, unfit. We burned them. Now we come for you. You call him your god of war. Let us see if gods can bleed." Ares turned to the exile captain, a grizzled woman, named Voss. "They're not Union," she said. "They're something older, something worse." Ares nodded slowly. "I know. They were the ones the Union feared, the ones who whispered from the dark." Voss frowned. "What are they?" Ares turned toward the stars. "The architects of the First Empire, the builders of machines. The true masters of war." He clenched his fists, "and their kind." Back on Earth, Shaw stood beside Leanne as she watched the data scroll across the screen. A new threat, a new war, but this time, humanity. Wasn't alone, the exiles had returned to help. Dozens of outer world colonies answered Earth's call, old enemies, forgotten friends. Even a few Union survivors joined the cause, because this war wasn't just for Earth, it was for the galaxy. Ares sent his final message. "You tried to cage us, you tried to erase us. Now here this Earth stands. Humanity fights. And I will finish what you started." The stars had once been silent. Now they echoed with war. But Earth was ready. Ares was ready. And this time, they would not fight for survival. They would fight for victory. End of Season 1,